Yo, what's up, y'all? This is Nate, the disciple. All right, so this gonna be part 7. This gonna be part 7. This is Testimony Friday, my college football journey with God of Israel. It's important to know Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ. He always there. He always been there for us, me, you, everybody, the whole entire world. All right. Um. So so where we had left off was I moved from St. Louis to Texas. All right, so a whole lot of spiritual warfare going on back home. Before I had left, it's important to know I had this I had this I had this Firebird. It was 10, and before I had left, showing up, I was posting a lot. I was doing a lot on like social media, but not really. I wasn't going crazy, but every time I post something, it just be going like crazy. And a lot of people was like following me, watching me, then all of that. That's just the enemy trying to keep you inside this world and trying to keep negative things going on. And Jesus Christ was like, we getting you up out of there. All right. And when I had moved, I moved. So my dad, I can't remember exactly, but I think I had already planned on moving to Texas with my dad. But the whole point was I wasn't gonna live with him. I was gonna live. I was gonna get my own apartment, or that's it. That was the only way I was gonna be isolated. And the reason why I was like this. It wasn't like I didn't want to live with my pops or nothing. I just felt like I was too old. And then on top of that, I've been alone all through college. So this is another thing that God had already blessed me with, bro. Blessed me how to be alone, how to go without, how to be away from my daughter. And that was hard, bro. And I literally had to, like, everything I do had to keep her inside my heart and mind, all right, and make sure I'm doing everything for her, all right, and that became a blessing because that's the same way I treated Jesus Christ, all right. So that's very important, y'all. So I moved from St. Louis to Texas, so it was important for me. I told my pops I needed my own spot. He got me a spot, and it was very nice. And he blessed me with my father. God blessed him to bless me with the car. So I had a couple cars right there. One of them, I had a couple cars. And the apartment, and I had an apartment. So God blessed me with that, and I wasn't worried about nothing. That's very important to know, y'all. That I wasn't worried about nothing, y'all, at all. Like, I didn't have nothing to worry about, man. So I started making music. I started, like, I wasn't making music back inside St. Louis, but as soon as I got to Texas and I got my own apartment, I was listening to beats. So it's just crazy how that happens, right? Because I wasn't making music until I had got to Texas, y'all. And I already had it inside my mind, like, man, I'm finna start back making music, especially after all the stuff I was going through. That was the whole point. I was gonna make an album about my whole journey so far, like my whole life so far. All right, and I did. I made that album that is long time coming. One, the album is gone. All right, so I'm not gonna, like, since I already made long time coming 1.5, and so I'm not gonna go back and do one over. I'm just gonna keep that where it is. It's gone. So it's gone. So I'm just gonna let it be like that, and just let the world know that was secular music. It was lukewarm music. And when you give your life to Christ, and especially when you make it to Jesus Christ, bro, you cannot condone that. I gotta get rid of that Lord video. I think Vic Mont got that, or Cam Nichols. I got a couple videos that I need to get rid of. So if you listen to this, delete them videos, please. All right. God bless me. I wasn't worried about nothing, man. All right. So God always been there. with me, and he's there with you right now. So don't be scared about nothing. I moved from St. Louis. Before I left, I was in sin. It's important though. I was dealing with strippers. I was going to the east side picking up women. Like I was inside a whole lot of sin, but I had a daily routine. All right. Um, that was a very important note. I went to work. I worked out every single day. I dieted crazy. I was just drinking smoothie. I was eating Smoothie King. Some days I would only drink Smoothie King. Like um and my granny used to come over there and bring me food, and all this stuff. I was good. I ain't had nothing to worry about. I had furniture. I looked online. I had got free furniture. That furniture ended up somebody getting it. So that was just a blessing. How God working, and yeah, man, I didn't have to worry about nothing. I was alone. It was just like how I wanted it to be inside college. Literally, like I wish I could have just lived alone in college, but it wasn't like that. All right, but I wanted it to be just like that, just me alone in college. All right, it's important to know I went to Texas with nothing but faith, and with nothing but faith to better my life with God of Israel and Jesus Christ, and for my daughter, y'all. Like I wanted to you if you were heard that inside long time coming one, right? Uh, it's a lot of music I ain't ever dropped, but I love my daughter, bro. I love my daughter, man, and I go hard for her. And we got to go hard for God first, because we got to put God first, and that's another thing that I know why God He waited for a certain time in my life for me to be a father, because uh, if I would have been taking care of my daughter, she would have been spoiled rotten. She would have been worldly. She would have been worldly, y'all. She would have been worldly. She would know God, but she wouldn't know how to. She wouldn't know how to create her relationship with God like I know how to do it now. All right, so that's what I was missing. All right, I was missing a true relationship with Jesus Christ, how to worship Jesus Christ, how to really a prayer life is good. Trust me, cause bro, King David, like King David, y'all. 7 times a day do I praise him because of his righteous judgment. All right, that's very important, y'all. And I just want to say his righteous judgment when the Lord of judges. What do you think this is, y'all? I gotta say this again, because the Lord of judges, when the enemy spiritually, y'all, spiritually, it's a spiritual world. Imagine a government inside the spiritual world. Imagine a government inside the spiritual world. If you are in sin, you can't get no blessings from God. All right. If the enemy is going to try to keep you in sin, you get demonic blessings that's going to lead you to a spiritual death, y'all. This is very important to know, y'all. All right. So it's important to know that I went to Texas with nothing but faith to better my life with God of Israel, Jesus Christ, and to better my life for my daughter. I had plans on uh um fighting for my daughter and getting custody of her and doing all this. I did that, but the enemy, like the enemy working when you are inside sin, you know, it is no way it was no way I could have lost, right? But nah, and that's what the enemy used. He would use that, oh, bro. He would use that. He would use that. He would use that against you, bro. All right. He would use the people you love against you. I just can't. I gotta stand on 10 with Jesus Christ, bro. Don't let nothing in expose the demonic kingdom. It don't come easy. Understand this. You know me. All right. That's all I need to say. I drove to Texas with a 3K that God blessed me to save up to move to Texas for a new start with Christ, and nothing but faith and hope. All right. So it's important to know that I moved to Texas to start a new life with Christ, and nothing but faith and hope. I didn't have nothing but faith and hope, bro. Literally, I went out there. I had money because I sold that Firebird, and I saved up a bunch of money. I was working. I kept on going in and out of jobs. I was blessed with good jobs, and then uh, um, I was blessed with, some good jobs that kept me afloat. All right. And I saved up enough money. I think it was around like 3,000, probably like 2K, somewhere around there. Uh um and I jumped in the truck that God blessed me with, and blessed my grandpa, then blessed my dad with, then blessed me with. That truck been going for generations now. it uh I jumped in this truck in the truck, and I drove to Texas. And um I was like, I don't know nothing about a job. I said, in like 3 months I gotta find like a job, because you know whenever I get an apartment, I was going I was gonna pay for at least three months, so I wouldn't have to worry about nothing, right? And then I was gonna find a job, and then within that 3 months, and then I would have been good. All right. So it's very important to know, man. Um, Through all of this, I was making music, and then I was looking for jobs, and I don't know how long it took me to actually get a job, but it's crazy how the enemy already had a job for me placed inside Texas. All right, because you have to think about this, y'all. Uh, as soon as you are isolated, what's gonna happen? Because he could be trying to figure out, all right, is this a time he going up on Instagram, on Facebook, blah blah, all this drama and stuff. That's not of God, y'all. That's the enemy. All right, that's drama that he created to try to keep me in this world. All right, and um, so I had already planned on moving to Texas to like make music and everything, and start a whole new life. And it was just something about everything that I had been through already. Like, it just felt like a good start to do everything that I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, a job, try to get like a house and a wife, and custody of my daughter, and all this stuff. So the enemy already had this job, right? I was working part time at FedEx back in St. Louis. So I was working part time at FedEx back in St. Louis, and then they had laid me off. So I don't know what had told me as soon as I got to Texas, or I probably did it before I even went to Texas. Before I even went to Texas, I had applied for, what I'm saying, a forklift job, a part-time forklift job at a FedEx. And I don't know how long it took me as soon as I got out there, but I ended up working part-time. I was working part-time FedEx as a forklift driver, and I can't remember how much it was. It probably was like between like 14 and like 17, $18, somewhere like that. Between 14 and like 18, somewhere. And it was part-time. It was part-time, but it was good money, and I like driving forklifts. I was really good at driving forklifts. Like, I was really good at driving forklifts, bro. And believe it or not, we finna get into that. All right, but let's go back to this. So I still have football dreams. So it's important to know. So I was looking for a job, and I was like, man, I'm finna go play semi pro football. So I did play semi pro football. Now this one, guy was like, this is not all right, this is not your calling, son. Like, it's time for you to put the cleats up. And it wasn't that I wasn't good. It's just like the politics kept happening. All right. So worldly things, y'all. Chosen ones are not meant to do worldly things unless he could swap the worldly things for his good. All right. And how can you swap football for his good? And it's just, we are hurting each other. We're hurting God's temples. Like, is just think about that, bro. It's God is in us, and our temples is to protect God. So we gotta take care of our temples, y'all. All right. So the enemy made football to destroy us. Now, Do I like football? Yeah, I like football, bro. I like football, bro. But it don't take away from the whole point that we are destroying our body as a temple. It's not a game of God. And just think about it, bro. You could make football safe. You could make football safe with almost 100% not being able to get hurt. Come on, man. Like, it's so much technology these days, bro. Like, just with helmet and football pads, bro, it could be way better technology, y'all. And still have the same attributes, you know what I'm saying, as a physical human being, all right? So, I know that's going to change, y'all. I just know it's going to change, all right? So, I still have football dreams while I was in Texas. Um, I didn't. I was working out crazy when I was in Texas too, bro. I was especially when I had first started. Like, so the enemy couldn't break me. All right, he still couldn't break me. I was working part time, and I was working out every single day, like exactly how I was inside college. All right, and I was training to be a football player the whole time. So I'm doing football drills. I'm doing all of this cardio a lot, and I might get back into that. And I didn't. I didn't give up the football dream until God was like, you know what, this politics stuff just gonna keep going, son. So you just gotta. It's time for you to let it go. So I let it go. I ended up getting a job at FedEx, part time. I was looking for and I got so one of my childhood friends they ended up moving down there to Texas too. So I was kicking it with him. You know, we was going to the parties and downtown and kicking and stuff. So that was cool, right? That was cool while it lasted, and I was looking for a job, but God already had the enemy already had a job for me. All right, they tried to do the lukewarm right there. All right. The enemy already had a job for me. All right, and look, Isaiah 45:7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. Even when things look ugly, bro, God still got control. He could have called me right then and there. All right, so it's just, if you ask me, it's keeping the enemy in shambles, trying to figure out when. Cause I never forget, bro. I never forget when I was making music inside that apartment. Uh, People would be like, "What is he doing in there?" Because I'm playing music and rapping. They're like, what is he doing? Like, what is he doing?" They trying to figure out what they've been. Bro, I'm telling you, he been putting the enemy on skates, trying to figure out what is he going to do. When you gonna call him? You heard me? So I was looking for a job, but the enemy already had that job waiting on me, that part time job. So I was working part time in Texas. Uh, it and it's important to know this right here, y'all. So I was working out, I was eating healthy. It was only a part time job. I did drive far to football practice, and I drive far to work, because I was going from Fort Worth all the way to Irving, or Irvine. All right, and and I was coming from deep Fort Worth, almost where the hood at, and I was driving far every day. You know what I'm saying? God blessed me with a car to be able to do all this, go back and forth to work and all of this. I kept as soon as I got that job, I forgot what happened between me and my dad, but something happened with the apartment. I don't really know. I just had to move out. So I moved out. I got I had rented out a room, and when I had rented out a room, it was nice. It had like a hot tub in there, uh, uh, a jacuzzi. It was a jacuzzi or a hot tub, and a shower. It had its own bathroom. It was basically like a studio. It's like I had everything but cooking. All right, and it was nice. I think I paid like $700 a month for that, and uh, I was working. I started working part time at FedEx, so I just ended up keeping the green truck, right? Now that's when, like, after I lost and it wasn't like I paid for like 3 months, so I'm pretty sure I had it for about 3 months, right? And I paid for like 3 months, and my pops like I guess something happened, and I had to move out, so I wasn't gonna move in with them, So I just like I had already went through that. All right, so I was just going. So I had rented out a room, and then I was working part time while I was living inside that apartment at FedEx. So it was a blessing because I ended up moving closer to the actual job, and I ended up keeping the car, and I lost all contact with everybody from there. All right, I was like, hey, it's just me, God, and me getting better and doing better and getting my life in order so I could get everything in order so I could be able to be a father and you know what I'm saying, be a man of God and do everything the right way. And God blessed me with the enemy. The enemy will bless you, bro. I gotta say it. The enemy will bless you with a job, and the enemy give out blessings. The only enemy, the only blessings that he gonna give out is anything that's gonna keep you away from God, keep you away from your isolation, especially chosen ones, especially the ones that he know that already have a special relationship with God and Jesus Christ, and especially the ones that's going to alone. ISO time is like it's just you and God. All right, so the enemy don't want you to have ISO. He wants you to be working, like constantly working, have stuff to do constantly. Try to, you know what I'm saying? I hate even saying it. All right, but I started part time and I became full time quick at FedEx, y'all. I was working at FedEx. I'm talking about super quick. I'm talking about like dummy quick. I was working out. I was working part time. I had enough money to pay for the room I was living in, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna do this, and then I'm gonna get my own apartment. It's crazy because it's exactly the same apartment like that I'm in right now, and it's just crazy how everything happens. But um um so like uh I I had to be there for about, man, let's say between 1 and 3 months, right? And I became a full-time CDL driver. So I went from a part-time forklift driver to a full-time CDL city driver. All right, um, they like the enemy was trying to get me away from. He trying to take all of my time, right? And it's crazy because I know that God wanted me to see, like, what is it like to live inside this world? Like, what is it like to, you know what I'm saying, work for the things, you know what I'm saying? Like, he wanted me to see what it was like, all right? And I was working part time, and then I ended up becoming full time. I was a full time CDL driver, and I was happy about it. I was like, man, I could finally do everything I wanted, right? I was like, I could do all of this worldly stuff. This deja vu. I could do all of this worldly stuff, y'all, and um. I could do all of this worldly stuff I want. I could get a new car. I could get my dad back the green truck. I ended up buying 2 cars. I ended up buying a whole nother Firebird. That Firebird back in St. Louis, I crashed it right before I left. It got crashed and it wasn't even that bad, man. I could have had that car fixed. That's crazy. Uh, uh, I sold that car. I still sold it, and I had moved to Texas. And when I got that full time job, people, you know what I'm saying, the people was like, they was telling me, a lot of things gonna be happening. Like when you become a full-time FedEx, because it's a big deal, obviously, that you a FedEx, you work for FedEx, and that's horrible. Like that's horrible, bro. And I'm not trying to say that, like just like I told you, I was ecstatic, and I was like, man, I got a job, but I didn't really care about it like that, honestly. I was happy. I was happy that I had a job, but I didn't think it was that big like how everybody else was making it seem like. And in St. Louis, right? It's only like five good jobs in St. Louis. You got FedEx, you got UPS, you got Boeing, and I'm pretty sure it's about two more out there that I don't know. All right, and if you don't, if you work at one of them, you know what I'm saying, you probably gonna have the Jezebel wife that's gonna give you a headache, right? Uh, so yeah, that's what you know what I'm saying. Anybody was looking for, you know what I'm saying. But I always wanted a woman, a guy, you know what I'm saying. So, um, we had ran into some issues out there. My past was coming to Texas. Literally, like everybody was coming to Texas, bro. I promise you, everybody was coming to Texas. like, uh, uh, my baby mama, she came, and Camille came. We had got into an altercation. She almost did something crazy. Then, uh, and I had to, that situation. I don't want to talk about it, but my brother Bam, he was there. He helped me out with that situation, and um, a little drama happened, and I think that's what God was trying to keep me away from. I know that's what He was trying to keep me away from, and um, everything still in it turned out to be good. So I was working full time. I was making a lot of money, and at first I was into the overtime, OT, 40 plus hours. And then uh, that got old fast, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. And you got like people in there, right? That they got the new the vets, and everybody, a lot of people in FedEx, they get vets. So like when you become full time and you get like vets, or you get like a nice car like that's up there with that vet, like 100K car or something like that. Um, I never really wanted those things for real. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't really worried about. I always like taking something that was nice, and it could have been older, and make it look nice. I always did that. I don't know why. The same thing I do with J's. But I just love making and make it look nice. So like I had my Firebird, and people love that Firebird. They be like, man, that's a nice car. They thought it was a V8. It wasn't no V8, man. It was a V6. But it sounded like a V8. It sounded like a V8, but it was a V6, and it was a nice car, man. It was a nice car. It was clean. God blessed me with a paint job on that, and I had that car looking nice, and then I ended up buying a Mero, and then that was like one of my bad mistakes, because I was spending money on a car note. I know it had to be like 500 plus, all right, a month for that car, and it was like a 10. It wasn't even like, they was just draining money. Them type of businesses, God hate y'all. God don't like businesses that's out to drain you. That's why I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with these tour cars, because man, the enemy using that to keep people in bondage, bro. Like I dealt with a lot of people, and they're using these cars to keep. They really just keeping up with the car. That's it. They ain't do. It's not getting them nowhere in life. That's what it feel like when when you are when inside life sometimes when you get like jobs like this, and I still felt like, you know, I wanted more, but like I was comfortable um with where I was at, right? But it got to a point where I did want it to like live free, right? This when 2020 came, and then the COVID came, and you get on Instagram and people talking about um, you know how to be financially free and all this. I just knew that working for FedEx wasn't. I knew that for a fact, y'all. Like working for FedEx, I was not gonna be doing this my whole life, y'all. I knew that, and some told me like I was gonna reach my max payout inside 3 years, and some told me like I wasn't even gonna make it to that. Like I just knew I wasn't gonna make it to 3 years, and it was a lot of stuff going on online, and I was blessed with a relationship, and that we both was on the same track, and we wanted the same things, and uh, we did some amazing things in the trucking industry, y'all. And that was a blessing from God. That was a blessing from God, y'all. And uh, I'm still trying to figure out, you know, I'm still figuring it out with Jesus Christ. I mean, I know now, but like I know my y'all given purpose, but uh, you know, uh, they done froze on me. All right, hold on.